Hey friends, it's Jeunesse Cartier, aka Strange Babe, and I'm just gonna light some sage real quick to open up a sacred space for us. I want to talk about the astrology of the upcoming weeks. Basically, from March 14th, which is the first quarter moon in Gemini, all the way until the full moon. So we are in the very last week of Pisces right now. And on the day of the full moon, on the 20th, the sun will be moving into Aries. So not only will we have the sun moving into Aries and also which, by the way, when the sun moves into Aries, that is the beginning of a brand new zodiac cycle. That is the astrology new year, the first day of spring. But not only will the sun be moving into Aries and all of that be happening, but we're having a full moon in Libra, which, by the way, this is going to be the second full moon this year, which is rare in itself. We usually only have one full moon in each sign, but since the first full moon is at 0 degrees Libra, started at the very beginning of the sign, the next full moon is going to be the very last degree of the sign, 29 degrees Libra. So we're getting some Libra lessons right now. But I'll get to that in the next video about the Libra full moon. For now, let's just talk about this week, and man, what a week it is, and what a week it's going to be, and what a time it has been with this Pisces season with Mercury retrograde going through it. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's been wild. And just, we're coming out of this Pisces season. The end of Pisces season is also the end of the zodiac. This is where lessons culminate. This is like hard mode. This week is like the opening scene in like a video game when the main big boss, like the final boss, is like approaching you. You know, like that's what it feels like for me. Anyway, so yeah, we're about to like beat the final boss, you know, and then start a brand new chapter. But you know, while Pisces season is notorious for being dreamy and otherworldly, it's also notorious for being incredibly heavy, dense, confusing, and overall delusional, wacky time for our minds, especially with Mercury, which rules our minds, going retrograde in this sign. And we're going to be in for a wild ride, that's for sure. So try not to let yourself drown, and don't drown yourself as well. You know, we have the Sun square Jupiter, so the Sun in Pisces square Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter's at home in Sagittarius, and it's very powerful there. And Pisces and Sagittarius are both mutable energies, and these two energies can be kind of, you know, big picture energies, and it can be kind of scattered, especially when Mercury's in retrograde in Pisces, trying to figure things out. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is like trying to look into deep space with the pair of binoculars. It's not going to work. You can't, it's just so vast and so big and so far and so wide. Your little binoculars are not going to be able to pick up on the images that are coming in. You're not going to be able to understand things and truly see them. And we're having to really work our surrender muscles out right now. We're having to really learn how to just let go of trying and feeling like needing to control situations, because it's not really going to help us. Pushing and forcing things right now is just not going to really get us anywhere. So trying to stay positive, trying to get clarity. The horizon is coming into focus, you know, and just take things step by step, one thing at a time. It can be really overwhelming when you have this whole view of the vast universe in front of you, and you know, where do you start? So we have the moon moving into Cancer this week, and that's going to add to the emotional factor of everything. The moon is at home in Cancer, and Cancer is all about feeling safe and comfortable and nurtured on an emotional level. And it's a water sign, and Pisces is also a water sign. This is going to be a very emotional time, Thursday through Saturday, as the moon moves to Cancer. Big oceanic feelings, emotional cleansing. We're going to have Mercury conjunct with the Sun, though, which will help to bring us some clarity or help us to infuse our will with our minds. It helps us to make decisions and make sense of things. So that's definitely going to be a great aspect. Even though Mercury is still retrograde, so we might not get the whole picture, but there is some kind of clarity that can come in, something coming into focus this week as we build into this Libra full moon, fully illuminated moon. You know, when the moon is fully illuminated, we come to a kind of culmination. We can see things when the moon is fully illuminated. Like literally, the full moon helps us to see. Like before, there were such things as electricity. You know, imagine going outside at nighttime during a new moon when there's no moonlight to light your way. But when the moon is full, you can see things. You understand. Right now, even though the moon is building an illumination, it's really hard for us to see things clearly right now. Things are hazy. And this is going to be the last week of Pisces season, so just get ready for it to kind of build up to a place of, you know, it might get pretty dark, but it's always darker before the dawn, as they say. So, yeah, we should get a real kick of mental power, though, as the Sun does conjunct Mercury, or Mercury conjuncts the Sun as it's backing up through Pisces. We will also have Mars trine Saturn, so Mars in the Earth sign of Taurus, trine Saturn in the Earth sign of Capricorn. So this, even though we have a lot of dreamy, otherworldly stuff going on, like on a total psychedelic trip in our minds right now, the reality of what is still exists. And we have very strong Earth energy at play simultaneously throughout this psychedelic trip. So, you know, Mars trine Saturn. Saturn is trying to help us to build, to restructure our lives, to put in the work and the step-by-step focused effort to slowly but surely build and restructure our lives around the things that we value. Taurus is about our values. And Saturn and Taurus really are about long-term sustainability. So these are things that are weighing heavily on our minds. Finances even, because Earth sign rules monetary, physical things like money, relationships, and things like that. So we're trying to figure out in our lives right now the best way in which we can approach our day-to-day life and assert ourselves in such a way that will help to build a future that we dream of that will be sustainable for us. So what are you building right now? Those are good questions, you know. Are you putting your efforts towards something that is gonna last, or are you repeating old patterns and just recycling old loops because you become familiar and comfortable with that? Uranus, that just moved into Taurus, is gonna that's gonna stop. You know, you're not gonna be able to recycle some of these old patterns with Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is coming through to break up the toxic habits, toxic, firm, you know, stubborn things that we cling to, that we don't need, that don't serve us, that aren't nutritious for us on a soul level or whatever level. You know, Taurus is all about high quality. You don't want that shitty, you know, whatever. For some reason, the first thing that came to my mind was like generic cereal. We don't want generic cereal. We want the brand name cereal, okay? With the moon and with Taurus. My moon's in Taurus. But anyway, so yeah, we will have basically the Sun and Mercury, because when they come to a conjunction, squaring Jupiter in the next few days, which is really that feeling of like, oh, there's so much. How do I make sense of everything? How do I make sense of that? Don't expect that to go away, but just do try to keep a positive attitude, you know. Jupiter in Sagittarius is like the uncle who always has your back. We need to try to remember, and trust me, I'm speaking to myself when I say this too. to just trust in the greater mystery, to trust in, in the creative genius of things. You know, you can't control everything, and right now it feels like, oh, like we're walking down this endless hallway and there's all these doors and we feel like we got to go through one of these doors, but we don't really know which one we're supposed to go through. And, you know, we think like waiting for one of them to maybe open up for us or whatever it is. And we hear rustling behind some doors. Like, I feel like something's just about to happen, but like nothing really is happening yet. That's the whole like last week of Pisces kind of energy of just like, of all the little tulips before they pop up, you know, to where we can see them underneath the soil. They're all kind of just like hanging out and like just waiting to like show themselves to us. I have weird visuals. But anyway. And also another thing we have going on this week is Saturn. So Saturn and Pluto are both in Capricorn right now, and they're going to be coming to an exact conjunction in early 2020. But this is a huge, huge generational configuration that is slowly perfecting this year. And we, starting on Sunday this week, Saturn and Pluto will be within 3 degrees of each other, which is technically when things are conjunct. That's the like the orb, that the one that most astrologers use, like the number of degrees. How far away? I just got distracted. This is me during Pisces season, getting really distracted about everything. So anyway, yeah. So I can see with the moon in Gemini this week, just some mental confusion, trying to figure things out, messages coming in, trying to communicate, talk things through, use people as soundboards, bounce things off. You know, talk to your family, call your mom, call your sister, call your brother, call your friends. Get your shit figured out. And then when we move into the Cancer energy, it's like, oh, emotions, like really getting in tune with yourself, really feeling we're out where you really are. This is the last week of Pisces season. This is we're building, we're ready to move into this next phase, but we gotta, you know, especially at the last degrees of any sign, it's all about like figuring out the lesson before you can't advance into the next zone, the next realm. We're in that place right now. With the Pisces season energy, not only finishing the sign of Pisces, but finishing the zodiac year. So we're wrapping things up on a soul level. Even if you don't even realize it, you just feel like, oh, like, you know, I have headaches and I can't focus and I feel hazy. You know, this is all just symptoms of clearing things out, like dissolving parts of ourselves and renewing ourselves. Like as you dissolve parts of yourself, these little bits and pieces of yourself that you might lose, and you kind of might lose parts of your identity, and that's what this is all about. It helps to purify us and clear us out, and we just have to keep trying to have a good attitude throughout this process. It's very difficult, it's pretty painful, it's definitely not easy mode, that's for sure, but we are building into something really magical that we can't even like imagine. We don't even know what it is really yet. So yeah. And then I think whenever the moon moves into Virgo on Monday, which is interesting, by the way, because whenever the sun is in the opposite sign of where the moon is, we usually have a full moon, but not this time, because we'll have the Virgo moon happening at the beginning of, you know, we'll be moving through Virgo just as the sun is moving out of Pisces, so they kind of miss each other, but it is almost like the full moon portal kind of already is going to start on Monday. When the moon does move into Virgo. Personally, I'm looking forward to this Virgo moon energy because it'll help us. This is a big time of processing, or mentally processing in Gemini, or emotionally processing in Cancer, and then we're physically processing these changes in the material world once we get into Virgo. I think we're going to get a little bit more clarity as the moon moves into Virgo. Just before the full moon, things might really start to throb. You know, but I do see that as like helping us to organize and bring structure to this Piscean sea that we're in. It's kind of a little bit of a raft, you know, to at least lay down and take a breath before the full moon hits, which in itself is going to be powerful. I'm actually really excited to make the video about the full moon in Libra. So yeah, it's gonna be a week. Try to stay positive. That's my biggest, and I'm saying that to myself as well. That's my biggest bit of advice for this next coming week. Something is being born, and you may not really know what it is. It's just you're going through the labor pains, and it really sucks. I feel like a lot of people are anyway. And even if it's not as difficult for you, you know, even if you're like chill, knows what, I got this. You're still, everyone's kind of in this rebirthing time right now for sure. So let us pull a card or two or whatever I decide to do for this coming week, last week in Pisces. Last week in Pisces, 2019. Won't you be free from all the Pisces energy once the sun moves out? Because remember, we still definitely have Mercury in Pisces, and Neptune's there for a long time. Mercury's going to back up all the way to Neptune and conjunct Neptune and kind of stay stationary on Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, which is like, amplifies. Apparently we need to see this one. Anyway, it amplifies the Pisces energy. So I flashed this on accident, but might as well show it. It being the Seven of Wands. So things feeling like a real challenge and struggle right now. Like, heck, how can I, there's just too much. How can I deal with this? But we do have the high ground. So we got the high ground. We can do this. Anyway. Yeah. So we're not free from Mercury retrograde in Pisces. I mean, comment below your Mercury retrograde experience. I would love to know what it is. For me, it's been pretty wild. My brain's been so scattered. I'm so indecisive. I have a really hard time pinpointing things because they're constantly changing. You know, emotions, feelings, thoughts, all of it. And really right now with Mercury and Pisces being all about emotions, Mercury being about our minds and our mental processes, our thinking, feelings, selves are very much merged together. So our thoughts and our emotions are kind of one. I think everything's always connected, but especially right now, that's really accentuated. Queen of Pentacles came out. We just want that stability. We want to feel, this is interesting, it has some spring energy too with that bunny rabbit there. We want to feel material satisfaction and stability. Keep going. And yeah, okay. This is that Capricorn energy in there for sure. There's even I don't know if you can see, there's like a little goat carved into her chair there, which is like a representative of the Capricorn energy. And we will be having, you know, we will be having Saturn coming into a true conjunction with Pluto starting on Sunday in Capricorn. This is going to be something. This is playing out in the background of our lives for this entire year. So it's kind of like it's like kind of like an overall objective. Even if we don't even like fully realize it, we're all on some level trying to find some kind of material stability for ourselves and security for ourselves right now. And things can really feel like a challenge. And, you know, we could potentially have some opportunities coming into us, but we're not sure if we should take it or not. You know, with Pluto conjunct the South Node right now and the Sun making connections with it, we might be a little bit stuck on the past and kind of being super sentimental about things that we've already built and feeling like nothing can trump that. And I hate using that word now. I feel like nothing can be better than that. And that we can't, you know, have this new thing, or we're scared of it, or whatever it is. or just unsure, feeling unsure. I'm gonna pull another one. Ouch. And this is a painful process of I'm gonna pull another one. Painful process for sure. And we may not be able to make our freaking minds up about where to go. And you know what? That's okay right now. Maybe we, just go within. This card is kind of the stalemate card of just being stuck between two choices. Maybe if you make a choice to one direction, you'll experience heartbreak, but maybe you have to do that in order to get this kind of long-term stability in your life. Maybe you have to make some changes or cut some things out in order to get to that place. So let me just pull one more. And this is going to be a guidance card. Guidance. Sometimes I just shuffle until I feel like it's right. As a guidance card, the Ten of Swords, now this is all about like things being dead, like things coming to an end. And this is a mental card because it's the swords suit, right? So it has to do with our minds. So I think what this stands for is right now, as Mercury is going retrograde, we are kind of having to end and kill mental patterns and habits that hold us back. Going inside and going deep and reflecting and being and I just feel the need to say that answers will not come from external resources right now. Answers are coming from within. You've got to go inside, got to go within, and honestly evaluate and consider the patterns that you seem to play out in your life, and whether or not you're about to step into the same old pattern that you have been before, and what mental programming do you need to rewire right now. This last week of Pisces, that is your homework. Truly just going within and being honest about what mental habits, stubborn mental habits, are you clinging on to that you need to just kill so you can be set free. All right. So that's what I got for this week. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I've been feeling this craziness of this Pisces energy, and I am ready for the sun to move into Aries. But we got to do our work here. We got to do our due diligence so that we can grow as human beings and learn the lessons and really align ourselves with our highest self and get to the core of our truths so that we can honor them and make decisions in our daily lives that will honor ourselves and honor our truth. So I will be back here in a week to talk about the full moon in Libra. So if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. And also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook where I post every day. And yeah, so I'll leave that information in the description down below for you. And I hope you guys have an awesome week. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. All right, love you. See you later.